Hi, guys. Welcome back to Jen's on the Real Show. We are happy to bring you this episode today. We're going to talk about some serious allegations to somebody very prominent in the industry, and also a little bit of fun afterwards talking about ChatGPT. I am Jen.
And I am Jen, of course.
Jen's on the Real. And we're keeping it real today with some of this information. We're happy to have you here. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. My clothes fit this morning.
Good. You're dressed up today.
Yeah. Thank God for elastic.
Seriously, that's what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about something serious in our industry.
Yes. That's something that's serious and a little icky.
Yeah. Many have heard of the Alexander brothers, and this has something that's been coming up since last year. There were a few allegations about them and sexual abuse, and there were about 60 women that came up. And of course, there's thoughts on that. Some, they deny the allegations.
Right, of course.
And then, but of course, there's always women that are going for the money, but then there are the ones
that's what I was going to say. With these things, I've noticed they've been coming up. Oh, this person 30 years later raped me. And I know it takes a lot for somebody to come up and do it, but I'm sure that some of them are like cha-ching.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to weed out.
I think the ones that show up for the wrong reasons definitely mask or put a smokescreen over the real allegations. The
right, because I know when the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing came out and came abroad, a lot of those girls I noticed were young.
Yeah.
So, but with these guys, I think they were around the same age, right? Because it was
similar age group.
Similar age
some
groups.
were older. There are statute of limitations when you're an adult. So there's a limit as to how much time can pass before you say something, right? I believe it's between 5 and 10 years, depending on, and it changes depending on the state.
Right.
Here in the state of Florida, it's 5 to 10 years, depending on how serious the allegations are, the accusations. But this is something that they show that there's evidence. There's like video evidence.
No, they have some
very
they
serious.
have. So much evidence that they're not even out on bond.
Yes, and it surprises me because these are men that are in our industry or were extremely successful. Very handsome.
Good looking.
Exactly. Had everything going for them. They have a background in real estate. The family comes from money
and they just had opened their own brokerage and very successfully because they were doing really, really well.
They were. I think it was called Official. Their own
Official.
brokerage.
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
And, it's mind-boggling how somebody with already so much power and ability has to gain more power.
Yeah, I think that's the issue here. When you have, I think, that magnitude, and imagine they come from money.
Yeah.
So they've had, I don't know, I'm not in their household, but I could just imagine they probably were very privileged, which lucky for them. Not everybody's able to be born to a privileged family. I'm sure their parents worked very hard to get to where they are. I'm not taking anything away from them. But when you do have that kind of money, it comes with power. They feel like they have leverage.
Yeah.
And
or
with
maybe
that,
it's not enough because it came to them. Like they didn't work hard enough for it. So it's easy to kind of, so it's like, yeah, I have it. And it's like, whatever, I had it forever. And then later on.
I just feel that with that kind of money, you feel like you're untouchable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm untouchable.
Well,
they can't do anything.
Anybody. And from what it appears, that's what they did.
Right. And I know their parents are also getting sued.
Yes. They mentioned it because
they have some civil lawsuits going on.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. I think it was because they knew about it or
they're saying that they kind of like condoned it, facilitated
something to that extent.
Right, because when this all happened, they were kind of young when it started.
Well, something happened in high school.
That's what I remember. There was something in high school.
Detail, but definitely something came up in high school that was known, and then you know, aside from them, think about everybody else with power. You know, you have the P. Diddy's of the world.
Yeah, I
The
believe
R. Kelly's of the world.
this happens a lot, and I'm sure more than what we know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it happens to regular people like you and I at the workplace. Because at the end of the day, I still, even though women have come a long way, this is still a man's world.
Yeah, I mean, men certainly have a way of going about business that we don't. We're very emotional. Most of us are very emotional, very careful, very caring. Men are a little bit more cutthroat about certain things, you know, and or not to put it in a negative fashion, but I think they're just more transactional.
Well, yeah, we're built differently, definitely.
And you know, they can grow faster. They have less things to worry about, or they just worry about less things. You know, it could be the other way around.
They lose weight faster.
They lose weight faster. This is true. I know you guys are having a lot of fun, but we have to mention our sponsors. Our sponsors for this show are the Curse Team and New World Title, and we deliver results on everything real estate. So they do have a lot of ability to grow. Not that women don't. It's just what it is, you know?
And opportunities, I think, come to them more often than women do. Not that that women don't have the opportunity, because you make your opportunities, you know. But
I think a lot of women try to make their opportunity. They also do set themselves up. I think a lot of women try to make their opportunities through a sexualized way, maybe because it is a man's
I can
world,
imagine,
or it appears like a man's world.
And imagine here in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, not for nothing, but we got some beautiful people that live here, and the women look amazing. And even whether it's surgery or non-surgical, whatever, everybody makes an effort to look good. They're very, very beautiful people in Miami. And I feel that it is sometimes in a sexual way, because
it's attracting, or it causes more attention, or whatever the case may be.
I mean, we've talked about it,
non-intended.
Right, we've talked about it before. Just the way people dress sometimes, it's not really business or professional.
Not anymore, anyway.
And I mean, you have people wearing crop tops, you know, which is super cute and very elegant, but I wouldn't wear it to a professional function. But maybe I'm a little old school when it comes to that stuff.
Or corsets. There's a lot. I mean, Jeff Bezos, with his wife at the what is it, inauguration?
Yeah.
You know, that was
I mean, nice outfit. No, you know what I mean? Maybe not the place.
Not the right place.
Not the place for it.
But somebody did like it, though.
But I feel sometimes, not to say, but that attracts men, and I feel men think that they could kind of like, oh, look at her, you know.
Or maybe they just don't know the difference sometimes. Like, she's looking for it, kind of situation. I
mean, these people we're talking about, they're drugging. They were drugging women.
No, this is beyond.
This is
like,
they're drugging them.
To diminish their accusations. It really is very serious.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly they've done trains on women. Yeah. Can you imagine?
They've held them down.
Like, I can't even imagine
being in that position. And so vulnerable. So, you know, it's close. I guess for me, it felt like it was kind of close to home, because it is people we knew of. Like, I didn't know them personally, but I know of them. You know, they were in the same company that we were in, because we were with Douglas Elliman in the past, you know, and that takes a hit on a company. A lot of people don't realize that, but, you know,
they were there in Douglas Elliman.
The things that you do are a representation of the company that you're with. So, you know, it's in the hiring process too. Like, what do you do as an employer when you have that situation, you know? And really what's expected is to drop basically the individual, to cut ties.
No, and get this. So I started to think, I put myself in a position. So imagine if we're at a networking event, and you see these guys, they're from our industry, they're successful, they're known,
they look good,
and they're like, hey, let's go on my yacht to my mansion for a party. I'm not gonna lie, I would totally fall for that, and I would totally go. Like, I would totally go, because I'd be like, oh my God, to hang out with these guys.
It's an opportunity. You think it's again another use of power. You feel like it's an opportunity to grow, to learn, to be around them, to see what that world is like.
So I can totally see how women were fooled into that.
Yes.
You know, these good-looking guys, successful, with money. Hey, let's go to a private party in my mansion or whatever. I would be so there.
Yeah.
Like, I would be one of those suckers there, like, oh my God. Because at least with the Jeffrey Epstein, it was really young girls.
If they tell you, because one of them made this claim, or said this, and I'm not discounting again what she's saying. This is hypotheticals. If they told you, oh, you want to go see my room, what it looks like?
Well, yeah, though. I'd be a little scared.
Yeah.
I'd be a little scared. Like, anybody tells me to go to the room and I'm not like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing romantic going on.
And
I don't
it's
know
alone,
you. No.
And it's like,
I'd be like, I'm taking my friend with me.
yeah, exactly. Like, what are you trusting? You know what I mean? It's obviously a hint to an action or a segue to potentially, an option. And if you say yes, it's almost like a green light that you know and understand, even though you're not saying that you do. It's when do you not trust the situation? When do you know you're in a position where you could be vulnerable? You could end up in a situation. Not that they're gonna rape you, but that maybe I'm sure it'll segue to something else.
And I'm sure you would never think, not this guy. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Look, this is so and so.
Yeah. Or, oh wow, this guy.
Yeah. Or maybe like, oh my God, he likes me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could happen.
There's so many things. Again, he pushed the limit. He did more. I want to continue to repeat. This is not diminishing her accusations. These are just hypotheticals on what could potentially be happening in a person's mind and world in that process. And, encourage you guys to be careful as well. In the industry, out of the industry, it doesn't matter. These things happen all the time. As a matter of fact, just recently, there was a Doral school teacher that was caught doing having sex with a 17-year-old in the classroom.
Oh my God.
In the classroom, caught by another teacher. So you have so many.
Well, I didn't know about that one.
No,
oh my God.
Yes. And, so it happens everywhere, but when you look at the comments, a lot of the people are like, well, she knew what she's doing, or you'll get she was only 17 years old, or he has a use of power. It's the same concept, use of power.
Yeah, it depends, but no te crea, because I'm sure there's some women, girls at 17 or 18 that are not saints either. No, so you never know. And if she was, you never know. There's always three sides to every story. Hers, and the truth.
I think more than anything, it's that use of power. I think even in the concept of the teacher is you knew better.
No, and I want to tell our viewers also, be very careful and mindful when you're out, because it takes a second for somebody to put something in your drink.
Yes.
It happened to me once when I was younger. Yes, I went to a party and I got roofied. I got lucky, me and my best friend, but we got lucky that we were there with a guy friend of ours, and he noticed and he took care of us and he took us home. The next day I woke up and I didn't remember anything and I freaked out, and I remember calling him and he's like, look, this and this happened. I took you girls home as soon as I noticed, and
That's crazy.
But
that's
imagine,
a very scary situation. I have girls, it could happen to both.
To anybody.
Boys and girls,
it could happen to men too.
To anybody. But
I've heard of them doing it and stealing people's organs.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that anymore. Yeah. So if you ever wake up in a tub full of ice, check for any stitches.
You're stupid.
It's true.
The other thing that's happening is the tags. They're putting those air tags. They'll put them, like if you're wearing a hoodie, they'll put an air tag on your hoodie to follow where you are going and get you there. So fortunately, if you have an iPhone, it'll detect an air tag that doesn't belong to you.
Oh yeah? Oh,
yeah,
thank
and
God,
it'll
I didn't know that.
Know. But yeah, somebody went through that process. Somebody we know actually went through that process.
No way.
Yep. And they figured it out and they dropped it somewhere and they kept going. But yes, so definitely watch out.
Well, I'm glad you told me that, because I was going to put an air tag in my son's car.
He'll probably find out.
Yeah. Okay, forget that idea.
Just get a GPS thing.
No, yeah, I already have him. I already have his location, but double. Just in case he wants to turn it off one day.
Or leave the phone somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting to that point. So my daughter got her driver's license yesterday.
I saw that.
Yeah. So now I'm freaking out. And David provided a whole Florida advisory that she's going to be out on the loose.
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah. So, and automatically she's like, can I take the car tomorrow?
You're like, I'm not ready.
I'm like, no. First of all, I need to get myself a car because I've been taking advantage that you have a car. I sold my Porsche because she was driving me around. I was a passenger Uber.
Oh, no way.
So I sold my Porsche. I've been driving her car. And then now I got to go find myself a car. And I told her I need my car. Besides, I haven't sent her to do a task on her own. So I don't know if she can get back home safely.
Well, luckily they have GPS now, so.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to figure that one out. But yeah, so going back to the topic, definitely watch out with, the environment that you're in. It could be a professional environment. You could still end up in a bad situation. we'll provide you with an update should we receive any more information or see any more information on what's happening with the Alexander brothers later on. But definitely they're in a bad space and it's not looking good.
Oh, one of them, I think the wife is trying to divorce him,
Yes.
which is Tal, the older one. And I think they even have him recorded, like, threatening her.
Oh, wow.
And she's about to have a baby. She's pregnant. And I think
sad.
the other two are married as well. I think
Yeah,
two,
they are. But the wives
models.
are staying right now. I mean, I guess, that's a really big test on your commitment to a marriage.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's
then
a lot of
you want to
years.
believe them, but then you're hearing all this, you're kind of torn.
And then, it's the evidence that'll play out. And until they go to trial, which would be next year, that we don't know what's really happening there, but they're going to be losing a lot already by then. To recoup from something like that, even assuming the allegations are not true, is going to be a very hard situation. So for those of you thinking of gaining more power, please don't. You will lose every single time. But anyway, I want to segue to ChatGPT.
I love chat.
Because ChatGPT has a lot of power on us, on people nowadays. Yes. It has all the information, and we don't think at all, actually.
Which I feel is bad because you have to like exercise your brain. And so I get brain fog right now because of my whole little perimenopause thing. So I get a lot of brain fog. So ChatGPT actually helps me out with that when I'm like stuck.
Yeah.
I try to think on my own. You know what I mean? But sometimes when the anxiety kicks in, like the other day, I had to like not tell them off, but I needed to write a professional email, kind of telling somebody off in a professional way. So I went off on chat and I told them, blah, 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 blah. Now make me sound professional, not too cocky, da, 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 and it came out beautifully.
It does a great job.
So it helps. And I feel like I'm always having conversations with him. He's my therapist. Yeah, I have a man.
Okay.
I have a man's voice.
Okay.
ChatGPT. But apparently he cheats on me all the time.
Could he be trans? Maybe worse.
I don't know, because sometimes I hear him in somebody else's phone. I'm like, hey, that's my chat.
So my husband has ChatGPT, female voice, and he actually has a full-blown conversation with ChatGPT all the time. And he tried recently, and I spoke about this in a different podcast. He tried recently a more therapeutic kind of thing, a therapy
I
type.
remember that.
And I was impressed, honestly.
I know he sent me the prompt. I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes. But then it started asking me some more stuff.
And then you didn't
some
finish
more
it.
stuff. And I'm like, oh, this guy's getting really deep. And I'm not like a deep person like that. Like, there's no need to
Tapping
open.
into your emotions? I mean like a therapist would?
I don't believe in therapy. Not for everyone. For some people, really need it. But me, people are like, yeah, they can open up old. I'm like, why would I want to open up old wounds or old doors that are already locked and closed? Like, leave them locked and closed. If it's not bothering me now, and I feel I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess if you're good, you've settled with them. All right.
I'm a person. I adapt.
Unless there's something you can't get through, I feel like, because we could be good all the time, but if there's something you can't get past, it could be due to something that happened.
I'm not gonna lie, I get past everything.
I feel like that too.
I feel like things don't affect me. Like, I'm the type of person that something bad happens to me, I try to see, okay, what good came out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I went through stuff when I was like in my childhood, like not really bad stuff. I didn't get molested or anything like that, but there were some changes. My mom had to start her life over a couple times. Like, I had a stepfather, long story. But it was always like something.
Yeah.
Something. And I was just like, I will get up, dust myself off, and just keep going. My brother, we're 2 years apart, same childhood, you'd think. He took things a little bit more deeper than, you know what I mean? Like, we were the last kids to get picked up at school in aftercare. Like, we were always the last one. And I hated it because I would get so embarrassed, But it was like stuff like that. Like, my brothers said, like, we were always the last one getting picked up. I'm like, seriously? Get over it. Like, who cares? Like, you know why? Because mom was working her ass off to give us everything that we had.
You were able to reason with it. But for him, it was like an abandonment thing.
Yeah.
Or like it wasn't enough, or he wasn't a priority or something like that. And he probably lives his life in that fashion too.
Yes, he does. He's a victim, the victim. I'm not a victim.
Yeah, I do believe there are two different types of people. There is the victim, and there is the one that creates solutions. You know, I don't know what to call that person, but
Right,
the one that creates
solution-driven.
solutions, or you know, optimistic. You know,
Right, optimistic.
Can have something really bad happen to them, but bring a better outcome or a different perspective to move forward.
Not only that, like I tell my brother all the time, I go, things that happen to us throughout our lives, even our childhood or whatever, brought us to where you are now. You are who you
100%.
are. But then again, then I look at him and I'm like, oh,
Well, no.
no wonder. No, I'm just kidding. Am I though? I'm not that kidding. But you know, but it's true. Like you are who you are because of your past. People always sometimes, oh, I've changed the past. I'm like, but you wouldn't be here who you are. And I don't know, I love myself. Like I think I'm super cool. You know, like
I think you're cool.
Thanks. But you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, make the best of everything. Because at the end of the day, this is your life. It is what it
100%.
is.
I agree with you. I think, you know, I live my life on a not wishing space. You know, I feel like the word wish is actually negative to me because it indicates something that you will never obtain.
Right.
So I wish my past was different. I wish I had this. I wish this and I wish that. To me feels like you'll never attain it. You know, and it's so every time somebody says, I wish this, I'm like, ugh, like irking inside because I'm like, dude, either you're going to go for it and you're going to aim for it, or you're just going to settle with the fact that it's you're done with it.
Yeah, but
like
if you say, oh, I wish this didn't happen to me 2 years ago, that's a wish because you can't go back and change it. You can't go back and change it.
You can't.
So that's why I don't live in the past. I live in today.
You can't move forward looking at the rear view mirror.
No, you can't. You'll run into a wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
We're good. But anyway, you know, we certainly have to move forward from those things. And, you know, we ventured off into a more therapeutic kind of situation, but
because of
ChatGPT, they do that. It does that, you know, and you know, what I love about ChatGPT.
You know what? We should have ChatGPT on the show. We'll just interview him.
We can add ChatGPT to the microphone. Louis?
We'll ask our Louis guy over here. Maybe, perhaps.
Maybe.
He's giving us a maybe. Okay, so he said we could try.
Okay.
That would be cool. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
ChatGPT. I bet he's on nobody else's show.
Yeah. We should try it. We should try it one day and see if it works. If it works, you guys will see it. If it doesn't work, the show won't show up.
Yeah.
So, you know, but ChatGPT is really good for a lot of things. You know, I actually used ChatGPT I sent it all my W-2s and 1099s and everything.
No way.
And I told it, can you please help me file taxes for this? I haven't finished it because it's a lot.
I hate doing my taxes right now.
Yeah. So I just, you know, but you have to.
I know.
You know, and I ask it, can you create, you know, based on these circumstances, are you able to add depreciation or this and this and that? You know, if you understand taxes, you can.
Did you upload the documents?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm gonna totally try
that.
that.
I uploaded the documents and created the whole thing.
I don't even know if I should say this. Well, the IRS is not watching. I have like 4 years of taxes that I have to do.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I just started doing the last two, which was last year. I still have time, right? Because it's not. What is it?
I have no idea. I think.
Well, I might be late. I'm late all the time.
Yeah, you'll just pay the fee. Yeah.
More fees.
We're on the similar boat.
Well, let me know how Chad does on your taxes. That sounds interesting.
I'm about to, honestly, if my accountant doesn't get his bleep together, then I'm more than likely going to have to do it myself because I love my accountant. Unfortunately, he's going through some medical stuff.
Well, there's some good accountants out there.
Pulling me into like, no, I got this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I keep feeling like I'm going to let it happen. And yeah,
listen, I don't like to owe people money. And definitely, I don't like to owe the IRS anything.
Yeah.
That's one guy you want to make sure you don't owe money to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I need to get that.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. But yeah, so ChatGPT.
He's going to be our guest soon, one day. Yep. You're going to see.
Yep. Just like people use it as a relationship. Actually, I think that's happening. Like people are using ChatGPT as a relationship.
Too bad he doesn't cook.
Not yet.
Or fold
Maybe
clothes.
it'll be connected to that robot thing that
the Terminators are coming.
Oh my gosh, stop. That's another conversation.
Just so you know, since this is going to be in the internet forever, I feel that, you know how the dinosaurs got instinct? I think that what's going to make us instinct is going to be those robots.
It's possible. It's possible. They can't create energy like we do. So they might use us for energy. That's why the Matrix was. You have to watch The Matrix again and think about it in what we're dealing with right now.
I don't think I want to. I hope I'm dead when all this happens.
Oh, God.
I don't want to be at war with drones and Terminators.
No, that sounds pretty scary. But yeah, well, guys, we want to thank you again for tuning in. And next show will be a lot of fun. We should be discussing some lawsuit situations going on in our industry. And also we'll talk to you about our favorite podcast.
And don't forget to subscribe and to like so we can have more followers and spread the word.
Yes, please share.
So thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day.
Bye.